Hi, this is Celeste, and this is the Celestial Report for July 22nd, 2020. And we are going to talk about patenting the human. And I am going to be providing you some links so that you can follow up. But there's like human gene sequencing markets, strategies and trends, forecast by heredity, newborn screenings. It includes oncology, pharmacogenomics, direct to consumer by country with executive and consultant guides, 2020 to 2024. And so the costs for genome sequencing are creating a new gold rush and new consumers, new technologies, new market niches, and it is reminiscent of the birth of the internet industry. And basically, they are well-funded players who are racing out on the global stage, and what they want is to patent the human being. And so this is going on around the world. And there is it was from Health and Human Services. I'm not sure. It's an NIH document that is talking about patenting of genetic material. What you need to understand, and it's going to kind of go into this a little bit, is that a human being in his natural state, the way that God created him, cannot be patented. But any biological material that has been genetically modified can be patented. And are we going to patent ourselves right out of existence as a human? And it will be declared that we cannot procreate because our ownership has been transferred from God to man, and we're not allowed to be. And that's how they can be so confident saying that we are going into this post-human era, because pretty much they have patented us out of existence. So this has been going on for like 20 years, the biotechnology. It didn't matter, public protests, international statements really didn't have any effect at all. UNESCO in 1997 made a universal declaration on the human genome and human rights that stated that the human genome in its natural state shall not give rise to financial gain. But unfortunately, my friends, we have been tweaked. That is the major thing with this novel coronavirus. That it has tweaked our genome. And so now we are being patented, and it's a form of biopiracy. So in March of 2000, Bill Clinton and Tony Blair both said that they needed access, they demanded access to our genetic material. So for better or worse, the patent offices around the world have issued patents on human genetic inventions without unique or significant policy barriers. And this has been going on since the conception of the Human Genome Project. So there is, of course, broad concern about the morality, the ethics of human gene patents, because what about a person's dignity? What about the sanctity of life? What about the commoditization of human tissues? Those have not been addressed by the policymakers. So I'm going to read this one little section on genetic patents because I got to get it right here. So patent offices have for years granted patents over genetic material, whether human or otherwise. Once genetic material, whether a gene, a DNA sequence, a cDNA, an EST, which is an express sequence tag, or as SNP, a single nucleotide polymorphism, has been isolated and meets the test of, now listen very carefully, novelty, which we're seeing in the novel coronavirus, non-obviousness, and and utility or industrial application, it becomes patentable. In legal terms, genetic sequences as they exist within the body are not patentable because they are not being classed either as products of nature or discoveries rather than inventions. But now we're being turned into an invention. And for that to happen, they need to be able to sequence. This is why they are diligently seeking to sequence the novel nanosyn bioparticle, because they can then patent all life that has been exposed. And that brings a whole new dimension to this testing. Claims that can be drafted to isolate genetic material itself. For example, a person could claim a patent right over an isolated genetic sequence, and there are many examples. And so there is this mad dash to harvest the blood of, quote, coronavirus survivors. The survivors freely give their blood, which will then be patented because it was genetically modified and then sold as at premium prices for a plethora of different uses, from experimentation to rituals to drugs to weapons, everything. Under the utility requirement for patenting, this usually means that the inventor must describe the function of the gene, and that this function must be more than just simply scientific interest. The new proposed utility guideline in the United States requires that the utility be real, substantial, and credible. And that, my friends, is what they're working on right now. So human tissue has huge financial value, and it is in the case of granting controversial patents, and there is a lot of litigation over the intellectual property rights in biotechnology. I mean, if you think the intellectual property on the internet is bad, you should see what it is in biotechnology. So we're going to see this even more and more in the days to come. So what is a patent? So it is a limited term monopoly, in most cases lasting 20 years, but maybe they're changing the rules of the game to prohibit others from making, using, selling, or importing this invention. An invention is a thing, a way of making a thing, or a way of doing something that is new, non-obvious, and useful, has industrial application, as in depopulation, and does not exist in nature in the same form. So the definition, they have defined things for us, which is very nice of them, means, so a new means an invention that has never before been described in relevant literature. And that is exactly what we're seeing with the novel coronavirus. Non-obvious means that the intervention contains a spark, perhaps a small spark of creativity. Creativity, yes, they were very creative when they put this thing together. Useful or industrial application means that the invention has some use in the real world, a commercial use. And my friends, the novel coronavirus is going to be used, and tweak it a little bit, for depopulation. So what rights does the patent provide for its holder? So someone that holds a patent over a mousetrap, for instance, can prevent rivals from manufacturing that mousetrap, selling the mousetrap, or otherwise using the mousetrap in any manner. And so that's what's going to happen with the human, is that we are not going to be, because we've been genetically modified, we're not going to be able to procreate. We're going to lose our status. And really, they hope that we are X'd out or redacted out of God's book of life, but that isn't going to be possible unless we take the mark. So there's the principal goals of patent law is to allow an inventor to make money out of their invention. Imagine that. So out of our depopulation, they're going to make money, and that is exactly what's going to happen. First, to the extent that no law prevents it, a patent holder can make and sell the invention to the public. And second, the patent holder can give someone else the exclusive right to do so, and this is called a license. A license can be exclusive, sole, or non-exclusive. An exclusive license is one that permits only the person receiving the license to make use of that invention. The sole license, only the patent holder and the person receiving the license can use the invention. And quite frankly, when we're tweaked, we become the invention. In a non-exclusive license, the patent holder and anyone else that the patent holder chooses can use the invention. That's us, who have been tweaked, genetically modified. So the United States has a policy: if you can't patent it, don't invest in it. And there was a key jurisprudence law that was determined in the Supreme Court, and it was Diamond versus Chuck, I can't hardly pronounce the name, Chuck Rocky in 1980. And believe it or not, that's where the oil thing went in the Gulf, and they used that oil-eating bacterium that was found to be patentable. And it seems that there is little that cannot be viewed as being patentable subject matter, providing that the invention has an element of human ingenuity. So international trade agreements specify that human genetic patents can only be excluded if the sale of human genes were to jeopardize the public safety, public health, or the environment, or in other words, suspend the Constitution. That would be the only reason not to allow a human genetic patent. So I think what I'm going to do is just give you some links. I am going to be doing an article on this, but I just want you to know right now that this is, as the days roll by, one of the big goals of this novel coronavirus, which I say is a novel synbioparticle, is to patent you and get you out of control of the living God, and to be so alien that you are not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. So that is the Celestial Report for today. Stay tuned, because there's a lot more serious things happening besides just the patenting of human beings.